Hey adventurers, so today's going to be a little bit different of type of video. This is it's a top 10 video, so it's not that different. This is my top 10 fantasy instrumentals. There's a lot more that I'll go into as I talk about this, but this is a video idea that I saw from Usman at Bards and Books, and he did the video, and I stole the idea and I did it my own way. Not stole it my own way, that's easy, you just steal it. But I decided to make up rules for my own, for how I was going to do it, and change the way that I actually approached this topic. Sure, we'll call it that. Top 10-ic? That's dumb. Anyways, so because this channel is focused specifically on storytelling and not just music or whatever I want it to be, it's specifically storytelling. And so I wanted to find songs that I felt told a story without lyrics. There's plenty of these songs out there. There's so many songs that I just listen to and I get an idea for a story from them, from listening to them, or I feel like the song itself tells a story in some way. So so that was one of the things that I wanted to do with, one of the other things that I did differently was that I didn't confine myself to just a single song or track or piece of music. Some of these are single songs, yes. Some of them are albums though. Some of them are just artists because I don't really want to go through and pick specific songs by them or anything like that. There's even a couple full concertos on here, which we will get to later. But the thing that they all really do have in common is that I see a story when I hear these songs. Also, some of them are based on or inspired by actual fantasy books, and I will mention those as I come across them. So I had a list that was more than 10 songs, but I decided to actually cut it down and actually follow the rules of a top 10 and only have 10 things on here and not even include honorable mentions. And I think I had 13 things on this list, so I could just have 3 honorable mentions, but I don't want to. I decided that I'm going to make this 10 and stick with that. So I will be counting from 10 to 1 on this one. Normally I don't, because I normally don't care, but this is a topic that you guys have no idea what my opinions are on it, so let's surprise people and start with number 10. So on number 10 I have Adrian Von Ziegler, who's a composer, and he does a lot of fantasy music. So he's got tons and tons of fantasy songs, hours and hours worth of it, that he has composed, and they are specifically designed to sound fantasy-like, and because of that, obviously it fits. But there's plenty in the things that he has done, plenty of songs that he has done that actually I do feel tell a story in some way. And so obviously those ones specifically are the ones that I would be pointing you more towards, except that I didn't want to go through and search for every single one of them or search for a handful of them or anything like that. So I just using him as my number 10 because I really like his music and I really like that it does sound fantasy and that a lot of them do feel like they tell a story. The next one, number 9, that I have is McLaughlin, who is a pianist and a composer herself. She's got a lot of songs that would fit this prompt, but there's 3 of them that I wrote down that specifically feel like they're fantasy and telling a story, and those are Across the Burren, A Celtic Dream, and The Druid's Prayer. So I like piano music. Oftentimes piano music to me is a little bit less, like I don't love just to listening to like piano solos, but for some reason these songs specifically I really just enjoy all the way through, and I feel like they actually tell a story. Well, I filmed this insert once, but I accidentally deleted it without realizing it, and so now I'm having to refilm it again. Anyways, I wanted to swap out one of my answers, and so this answer is now going to be, instead of what I previously had it's now going to be Taylor Davis, specifically her song Gateway, and really that whole album, which I believe is Odyssey is the album title. And this one just really reminds me a lot of fantasy storytelling, especially Gateway and the music video that she has to go along with this song. She's obviously telling a story in that music video as well, and I really love that song specifically, and well, all of that whole album, but specifically Gateway is the one that I feel tells a story the most. The next one I've got is the Silmarillion soundtrack. So this is number 7 on the list, and this is a composer. His name is Alex, or his channel at least is Alex Sonic's Music, and he writes music specifically inspired by the Silmarillion and the events that take place in the Silmarillion. So you'll have things like a song about Beren and Luthien, or just so many of these various stories and important pieces of fantasy in of lore in the Silmarillion, and it's really cool. I've really appreciated hearing what he comes up with and what he creates. The next one, number 6, is The Dawn from the album Hibernia, or Hibernian is the album. This is by, I don't know that I'll pronounce this correctly, but it's something like Mairead Nesbitt, she's a violinist and actually a composer. I think she composes now, I don't know. But she used to be the violinist for Celtic Women and has since gone and done her own, been a solo artist. And this is one of the songs that she has created on her own as a solo artist, and I really liked this song. I wouldn't listen to the whole album to see if I like the whole album as much. Some of them I do, some of them I don't, but specifically I really like The Dawn is one of the songs on the album that I really liked. Number 5 is David Arkenstone. This is another one that he's got a lot, just a ton of fantasy-inspired music, or music that sounds very fantasy-like. And in fact, he has at least 2 albums that are inspired by Middle-earth. So again, songs inspired by a specific piece of literature of some sort, or specific fantasy world. So there's that one. But he's got a lot of great stuff that I really enjoy and appreciate, and especially I've listened to both of those albums, both the inspired by Middle-earth albums, and I really like both of those as well. Number 4 on the list is the band Secret Garden. They have a whole bunch of albums that I really like that are very fantasy-like, but there's specifically their first album, which is Songs from a Secret Garden, is the album, and then there's 2 tracks in specific that I really liked and that I don't believe were inspired, or were, I'll get to this in a second. So the tracks are Adagio and Song from a Secret Garden. So the album is Songs from a Secret Garden, and one of the songs on that album is Song from a Secret Garden. I thought for a long time that this Song from a Secret Garden was used in the movie The Secret Garden. That was the 1993 movie, but I'm not sure that it is. Well, for one, from the brief research that I did, it looks like this song wasn't published till 95 or 96, and the movie came out in 93, so it doesn't feel like it could fit. But either way, whether it is or not, I feel like this song tells a story and it fits. Actually, you could listen to it and imagine the book or the movie The Secret Garden along to this piece of music, and it would fit really well. But Adagio is another one that I thought really feels like it tells a story, and then Song from a Secret Garden I feel like tells a story. So the next one I have is Lorena McKennitt. This is number 3 on my list. Lorena McKennitt does a lot of ballads, which in and of themselves are very fantasy-like and storytelling, and I really like them. But there's 2 songs specifically, one that I'm thinking of. One of them is, I think it's just called Prelude, and it's the first track on the album, that Book of Secrets, I believe, is the album. And so Prelude, it does have some vocals, but it's not lyrics, it's just vocalization that fits with the rest of the song, and I really do like that as well. But the one that I specifically wrote down doesn't have any vocals, but I really feel like it tells a story, is La Serenissima, which is just another track on the same album, but it's just absolutely gorgeous, and there's no lyrics to it, but I still see a story when I listen to the song. Number 2 is another one that I only just recently found, and I'm gonna see if I can pronounce his name correctly. I don't know that I can, but this is The Lonely Shepherd by Georga Zamfir. And so Georga Zamfir is a panpipist, so he plays the panpipes, and this song is just absolutely gorgeous, and it really feels like it belongs in the first 20 minutes of a fantasy movie where we're in the small village with the shepherd before he gets his call to adventure and has to go off and save the world. It really feels like the Shire type world that you're in. And I since I found it, I don't know, a month ago or something like that, I've listened to it probably 15-20 times, and it's just an amazing piece of music. And then the last one that I have on this list, number 1, is The Four Seasons by Antonio Vivaldi. So this is actually 4 concertos with each of them has 3 movements, and I play these. I haven't played all 4 of them. I've played spring, and I've played a little bit of summer, and I have tried to play a little bit of fall, but I haven't even tried on winter, because winter's hard. I mean, I have tried, but it's hard enough that I just kind of give up every time. But I really like this. I really like the Four Seasons by Vivaldi, all four of them. But in each of them, each of these concertos tells its own story. One of the benefits to the piece of sheet music that I have is that it actually has little pieces of words written out as you come across that section in a song. It'll be like, the ice begins to crack or something like that. And so you'll just have these phrases that kind of tell you what's coming next in the song and what the song is supposed to kind of remind you of. And so that does help me envision the story. But even without that, I feel like I would see the story being told with these songs, and with these concertos. And I just really, really like the Four Seasons. Vivaldi is one of my favorite composers, and just even still, I really like the Four Seasons. I know that's kind of cliche for a classically trained musician to say, oh, I like the Four Seasons by Vivaldi. Yes, but they're also really good pieces of music, and so I'm okay with being a little bit cliche in that answer. Anyways, so that is my list of the top 10 fantasy instrumentals that I have on, that I stole this inspiration from Usman, and I'm perfectly happy with doing that, and it doesn't bother me at all. But this is a video that it's very different from what I normally do, because I don't normally talk about music, and I wanted to make sure that I included in some way storytelling when I made this video, and so that's what I've done, and I'm happy with it. I think it was a fun video to do, even if nobody cares about this. But thank you guys for watching an Erudite adventure. We post videos every Monday and Thursday, and have our social medias linked in the description down below. You'll see you guys again soon. Stay warm.